The gift of being there. We live in a culture that praises provision. We hear things like, "You're such a good parent, you work so hard." "Wow, your children are lucky. Look at all you've given them." But rarely do we hear, "You're really present for your children, they're lucky to have your time." Yet that's the one thing many children silently crave. Not just the things we buy, but the time we give. Not just the help we offer, but the heart we show. Let's slow it down for a second. You've done everything you can. You paid for good schools, bought a tablet for learning, signed them up for lessons. You feel responsible, proud. But then, one day, you walk into the room, and your children aren't excited about the device. They're not smiling about the new shoes, they're quiet, not angry, not upset, just absent in a way that feels loud. And something in you realizes, they miss you, not your money. You. Here's the truth we don't talk about enough. Children don't measure love by what you give. They measure it by how often you show up. Not just physically, but emotionally. You can be under the same roof and still feel miles apart, because proximity isn't presence. And being in the room isn't the same as being with them. So what do we do with this? How do we stop just showing up on paper and start showing up in person? Let's walk through some honest steps, not to condemn, but to build something better. Number 1, look beyond the checklist. We often confuse doing things for our children with being with them. We focus on food, school fees, devices, and activities, all good things. But sometimes in all that hustle, we forget to simply sit still with them, to be there in the silence, to ask, "How are you really?" and wait for the answer. Number 2, be willing to be interrupted. Presence means inconvenience. It means letting the email wait. It means pausing the show. It means looking up when they walk in, not later, not tomorrow, now. Because every time you choose them over distraction, they notice. And it tells them, I matter to you, not just what I achieve, not just what I cost, me. Number 3, don't underestimate the ordinary. You don't need to plan a perfect outing or give a big speech. Presence often looks like doing regular things together. Folding laundry while laughing, sitting quietly while they draw. Cooking dinner and letting them talk about nothing and everything. It's in these ordinary moments that lifelong bonds are formed. Number 4, learn to reconnect without shame. There will be days when you get it wrong. Days you're tired, distracted, emotionally unavailable, but presence doesn't demand perfection. It just asks for honesty. You can go back and say, "Hey, I wasn't really there earlier. I want to do better. Can we talk now?" That one sentence can heal more than you realize. Number 5, choose consistency over grand gestures. Your children don't need one big moment. They need small, repeated reminders that you care. They need to hear your voice when it's not correcting. They need to feel your hand on their shoulder even when nothing's wrong. They need to know that your love doesn't just show up when they're performing, but also when they're just existing. Here's the big idea. Your children don't just need things, they need you. Not the version of you that's always in a rush, not the version that's always exhausted or half listening. They need your attention, your compassion, your presence. And like Dr. Richie Adewusi says in his book, 7.5 Temptations Parents Face, they need you to be there to do even the yucky things for them. It won't always be easy, but over time your consistent presence becomes their emotional foundation. It becomes the reason they feel secure, the reason they believe they matter. So today, don't just ask, "What have I provided?" Also ask, "Have I truly been present?" Let's raise children who don't just grow up well-fed and well-dressed, but children who feel deeply seen, fully heard, and deeply loved. Not because we were perfect, but because we were there.